Welcome back for another video. For the next video in the pre-season series, today a new record has been set. The most FPL World Champions in one video. I spoke to 5 World Champions to get their Gameweek 1 lineups for you. So we're going to look at all 5. We're going to identify some of those similarities and also the differences. How can one of us win FPL this year? There's daily content coming in the lead up to Gameweek 1 to help you do well this season, so make sure you're subscribed. I've just launched an FPL newsletter with FPL Harry and FPL Raptor, and the 3 of us are going to be bringing you a newsletter every Thursday this season for free, with things like our teams, our transfer plans, gaming analysis, captaincy, fixture ticker and loads more packed in. It's going to be completely free every Thursday all season. In addition to that, we're also doing one every Monday fresh off the back of each game week, and that's going to have all the above and loads more packed in. And that's only a $5. Go to wrapped.tips to sign up for free. And if you'd like to get the premium one, you can consider that there as well. Over 7,000 FPL managers have signed up already. We've been working on it for months, and I promise you're going to love the newsletters. So, Simon March won FPL in the 2014-15 season. Proper FPL veteran. He's got 5 top 10Ks to his name, as well as tons of top 100Ks. And his team is Sanchez, Van Dijk, Williams, Van der Ven, Palmer, Salah, Kudus, Rogers, Wood, João Pedro and Watkins. So he's on a 3-4-3. And on his bench he's got Dubravka, Konsa, Esteve and Ramsey. I also asked the champions for some manager thoughts to go with the teams, and Simon said the following. All the changes from my previous draft have come in defence, with Cole's injury prompting a switch to Williams, with Sells swapping to Sanchez in goal to maintain the Chelsea and Nottingham Forest defensive coverage. I'd prefer to keep Sells over Sanchez, so I'm keeping an eye on Chelsea's defenders in pre-season to see if there's a viable lower-end alternative, perhaps Chalobah. I've switched my premium defender from Vardy to Van Dijk, as I think Van Dijk's fixtures are slightly better for defensive returns, and his attacking threat and DEFCON points should make him relatively fixture-proof anyway. The only other change is West Ham's Wan-Bissaka to Tottenham's Van der Ven, which again is largely a fixtures play, though Tottenham's defence isn't exactly filling me with confidence right now. Other than that, the focus remains on building the squad around established players from teams with good opening fixtures and a range of price points throughout to help facilitate any future transfers. Amazing insight from Simon there. So he's big on Chelsea and Forest defence, having made that swap from Sells and Colwell to Sanchez and Williams. Chelsea have just played their first pre-season game, and it was somewhat of a split lineup. They're going to play again tomorrow, so we'll probably see the reverse lineup for that one. Delap started that game. João Pedro came on the bench and he scored again. 4 goals in his last 3 Chelsea games. And Jackson expected to be gone before the window closes as well, so João Pedro is an interesting one. Kudus should get really good minutes this season as a new signing for Spurs, and some injuries as well. Whether that's on the wing or he might even play through the middle because of Maddison's ACL injury. So our first champion is on Palmer and Salah. Let's have a look at the next one. A new addition since the last Champions video is Jamie Pigott, who became world champion in the 2021-22 season, and he also set the record for the most FPL points ever in history with 2,844 points. I imagine that's going to be beaten because of the extra chips and the new rules this season, but that record's always going to demand respect in that context. He's gone with Sells, Williams, Aït-Nouri, Porro, Marmoush, Palmer, Gakpo, Fernandes, Wirtz, Evan Nilsson and Watkins, and his bench is Dubravka, Thiago, Konsa and Esteve. So it's a hugely different approach here. He's only gone 1 premium, and that's Palmer. He's gone no Salah, no Haaland. Jamie said, I'm bullish on Aït-Nouri. The rest of the defence I'm not so confident with, and I'll probably tinker with. I love the mids and attack in this structure though. I think there's genuinely a ton of value in that second tier that I'm willing to go no Salah or Haaland and have Palmer plus 6 semi-premium attackers in the 7 to 9 million range, plus Thiago as a solid first bench on pens. Really cool to see such a different team and approach to so many teams that you see out there currently. One thing is for sure, and this is a really big takeaway, there's no particular way to win FPL. Like, you can play relatively template at times, like Simon's draft, with proven players and the odd differential chucked in to try and snatch those big upside points. Or you can go massively against the grain like Jamie likes to. He famously won FPL in a season that Salah was absolutely tearing it up, but he binned Salah off when he went to AFCON. He didn't buy him back when he returned, when everyone else did. And Salah ended up having a really slow, quiet end to the season. Instead, he went for De Bruyne, who went on a pretty historic run to end that season, including that famous 30-pointer in one game week. He's right, there is a ton of value in the likes of Bruno, Wirtz, Gakpo. They've all got massive potential. Gakpo scored a brace in their last friendly. He's got 4 goals, 1 assist in pre-season. It does look increasingly likely that Isak's headed to Liverpool, and of course that could affect Gakpo's minutes, but he does look very secure for the opening game weeks at least. Perhaps Gakpo and Wirtz can cover Salah. The one thing they will have difficulty covering is the captaincy that Salah provides. Jamie's really going to have to pick his moments if or when he takes the armband off Palmer. Of course, Zabani is signed for PSG now, so that's Kepa, Howson, Kirkis and Zabani all gone from last season's Bournemouth defence, and they're away to Liverpool game week 1. In Man City's squad to face Palermo in pre-season, Vardy was missing, reportedly not fully fit yet, and nor is Rodri or Foden. Still a good chance that Vardy starts in game week 1, but is Aït-Nouri the one? Jonas became world champion in the 2023-24 season, and it was in dominant style. He was absolutely miles ahead of anyone else with weeks to go before the end of that season. And he's gone with Sanchez, Williams, Van Dijk, Porro, Ndiaye, Palmer, Bruno, Anderson, Thiago and Watkins. So it's a 3-5-2. And on his bench it's Dubravka, Mark Gu, Anderson and Esteve. He's the only one that didn't spend all 100 million, which again is a different approach. He's got 0.5 mil banked. And that can come in really handy, having that money in the bank. Like, it keeps you flexible. If one of your players underperforms, maybe they drop 0.1 million or another one rises 0.1 million, you can still afford them when you've got money banked. There is always that risk of being immediately priced out otherwise and missing the boat. He's also got that flexibility, you know, to go from like Williams to any 5.5 mil defender, Porro to any 6 mil defender, Thiago to a 6.5 mil forward, etc. Jonas said, Palmer's been in all my drafts and I don't think he's going to leave now. Anderson's not the best for attacking output, but he is good for defensive contributions. And Ndiaye could well be Matoma by game week 1, but he should have penalties. The two I'm most unsure about is Bruno and Thiago. Bruno mainly because I suspect he will play in a deeper role now, which potentially might be good for defensive contribution points, but not great for attacking threat and open play. Thiago I've not seen enough of, but he might be on pens and starting if Wissa is leaving. And he said, I'm swaying away from an early bench boost, I'll use it later instead. Watkins I'm fairly confident in. I think he'll have penalties over Tielemans, and I do like the structure. I could get to Haaland with just 2 transfers, and almost anyone else with just 1. Yeah, Thiago's in my current draft as well. Like, Wissa looks destined for Newcastle. I mean, they're going to sign a replacement Brentford. The question is, will they be a backup to Thiago, or will they take minutes from him? Dango from Bournemouth is one name that's popping up by a lot of journalists reporting on the situation. Brentford drew 2-2 with Mönchengladbach in their final pre-season game, which did have Thiago starting up top, though no goal involvements from him. They only played 3 pre-season matches in total. He did score in their first one, however. Potentially more twists and turns in the transfer window. Forest are reportedly preparing a bid for Leif Davies from Ipswich, and they've reportedly rejected some offers from Premier League clubs this summer already, so yeah, it could be very difficult for them to get him out of there, but one to keep an eye on in case there is that potential impact on Williams. Very nice draft from Jonas. Joshua Ball won FPL in the 2019-20 season. His lineup is Kelleher, Tarkowski, De Kuyper, Vardiel, Frimpong, Palmer, Salah, Marmish and Isak. And he has got 2 placeholder spots here as well. He's got Smith Rowe for a 5.5 mil midfielder to decide on, and he's got Delap for a 6.5 mil forward to decide on. Dubravka, Rodon, Gu and Trezor on his bench. So it's another Salah and Palmer combination. It's a very different looking backline. Kelleher was missing from that final Brentford pre-season game. I found a quote where Andrews was asked about Gustavo Nunez, and he said, his injury is certainly not the Schade and Kelleher territory of short term. So, suggesting that Schade and Kelleher both out for the short term, but is a spanner in the works with a week till game week 1 and no more pre-season games. Let's hope we get some clarity in the press conferences near the deadline. Marmish is perhaps the biggest upside pick in the game that's going under the radar. He's 8.5 mil, obviously not a cheap price, that's the caveat, but he's got big potential, and if he gets regular minutes, which does seem plausible with KDB on, he could be massive upside this season. Like, he got a hat-trick against Newcastle, didn't he? That was only his 3rd appearance for City last season. That shows what he's capable of. I'm not a fan of the Isak pick, if I'm honest. I think that bridge has been burned at Newcastle now based on Hal's quotes. We're less than a week away from Game Week 1 and presumably he ends up at Liverpool. But if that happens, does he start in Game Week 1 without a pre-season under his belt? He didn't go on Newcastle's tour for that reason. So yeah, I've filed him under wait and see for now. Frimpong also feels a bit risky when he's got Bradley for competition. I know Frimpong's more highly rated, but that's not always how it works, especially when he joins a club. They could share minutes at times. Lastly, Ben Crabtree, who famously won FPL as an Evertonian in 2016-17 without owning a Liverpool asset for all 38 game weeks. And in fact, that's the only way he plays, not just then, but still to this day. So his team is Sells, O'Brien, Wan-Bissaka, Aït-Nouri, Cunha, Palmer, Rogers, Saka, Gyökeres, Watkins and Solanke, and his bench is Dubravka, Dewsbury Hall, Hall and Esteve. Ben said, I think O'Brien should be nailed for now. All being fit, this is my team. Hall is my main question mark given he's 5.5 mil, although I do like him accidentally helping spell out Dewsbury Hall on the bench. If Solanke's minutes are still a doubt for Game Week 1, then I'll move him back to João Pedro, or I'll look at a 6.5 mil forward and move the extra million for Cunha to Fernandes. A really different draft from Ben, like Saka, Cunha, Gyökeres all popping up here for the first time in all 5 drafts. So no one die interestingly, despite being an Everton fan himself. O'Brien and new signing Dewsbury Hall are his choices at Everton. It does go to show how far the money spreads around without Salah though. Same thing we saw with Jamie's draft earlier. I'm not so keen on this structure myself, but obviously I would say that because it's very different to how my draft looks, and who am I to question an FPL champion? Big thank you to all 5 champions for sharing their teams. Hopefully one of you watching it wins FPL this season and we can do one next season. Links to the socials of all 5 are down in the description. It's a lot of work to pull together a video like this one, so do like and subscribe before you go. It's completely free. See you soon for the next one.